have actually two main topics we are going to show you today. One of them I just mentioned. It's called avant-garde. You know, the leading part of, in this case, gastronomy, but it can be also something else. So, but jumping right now into the second topic, what means or what's called awareness. We need to dig a little bit deeper into science. Today, we have a guest here from Israel, and I would like to mention it again. It's beautiful to see how culinary world comes together peacefully and exchanges. So, you know, food, especially meat, is a big thing currently because we all know in some cases it isn't really the most sustainable thing to eat. That's why we all need to gain awareness and possibly need different varieties and possibilities what we could possibly eat in the future. I would like to welcome our next guest on stage. His name is Shai Hayman von Redefined Meat. Shai, welcome. So, Shai.
Yes.
As I said before, the stage is yours. Show whatever you would like to. I actually tried the product already. Very important, I would like to mention before I forget it. Shai, or the people behind the stage, are going to pass some samples around of two actual products already existing in the portfolio. Please do not wait to eat it. Eat it immediately for a very simple reason, otherwise the texture will change and it will be not anymore so enjoyable as it is when it is warm. Please interrupt if I say anything stupid. So, as I said, stage is yours. Show us the best you can. We are really excited. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So, buenos días, señoras and señores. Nice to meet you all. I'm very happy, honored, and excited to stand here today and tell you our story, the Redefined Meat story. My name is Shai Hayman. I'm 32 years old, born and raised in Israel, in a small village in the north of the country. I'll start with a short story. I don't know, where do you see it? But in 1937, following the bombing of the bosque town of Guernica, Pablo Picasso painted one of the most famous works of art of the 20th century. There is a lot to be said about this painting. The composition, the symbolism, the choice of monochromatic colors. But how many of you know what oil paint Picasso used in this painting? Experts in the field claim that Pablo Picasso used Ripollin Company oil paint, the same paint used by the famous architect Le Corbusier in his example for the Ripollin law, washing the entire building with white paint to remove any coloration from the building and leaving it pure. And that's exactly what we do here at Redefine Meat. We produce for you, the chefs, the artists, a new and innovative raw material, but the creation itself is in your hands. When we received the offer to speak here today, I told Shai, the CEO and founder of the company, that this will be a great opportunity to talk about the company and reveal our products and innovative activities. He said it's an excellent idea, but he asked me to tell the story from my personal point of view, my journey with the company. So, as the third employee and first chef of the company that did a lot of the company's firsts, today is also a first for me. If you would have told me 4 years ago that I'll be standing here today, I'll tell you, nah, you're delusional. Do you know that young chef? The one chef that keeps jumping from one restaurant to another, learning everything that he can, but doesn't really feel like he belongs? I'm sure you all know at least one chef like that. I used to be that chef. I started to cook professionally when I was 20 years old, and at first I worked in a few small bistros in the Galilee, and after 2 years of juggling between kitchens, I moved to Tel Aviv, the big city. I wanted to learn more about food, and Tel Aviv and the restaurants were the place to do so. The first one was Raphael Restaurant. I'll never forget my first day there. After wearing my uniform, I walked into the kitchen, and wow, it was simply a different planet. The whole experience was mind-blowing. And so many new ingredients that I never seen before. Radishes in colors that I never seen, carrots in colors and sizes. I couldn't believe it. The whole place simply felt like a chef's table episode. Whole fish hanging in the fridge, a whole lamb just hanging there, waiting for Maurice the butcher to perform his magic. To this day, the smell of lamb stock always takes me back to that kitchen. Growing up in a small village in the north of the country, food in our house was, for the most part, a pragmatic task. A task to be done. The kids need to eat. It was nothing more than that. It wasn't about the pleasure or excitement of cooking or eating. And looking back at it, I'm sure my parents didn't have it easy. And the fact that after 20 years, I was identified as a super taster probably didn't help. Like a lover seeking for his one true love, I was always looking for that one place, the place that I would feel like home. And for the outside world, it seemed like I can't really stick to anything. Most of my adult life I've heard, why aren't you settling down in one place and learning? Don't you want to progress, to grow? It was different times. How could I explain them that I am progressing, slowly, in my own pace, and I'm doing so in my own way? They would never believe me. I couldn't tell them that slowly, in my own pace, I'm striving for something much bigger. Heck, I'm not sure that I knew what that thing will be, but I can tell you one thing. I was a very curious child, fascinated by food and knowledge, and since I remember myself, I always wanted to be a chef and a scientist. And finally, 4 years ago, me, the lover, found his true love, Redefine meat. I remember the first conversation I had with Alexei, the company's food engineer and first employee. He asked me, "Do you know what a steak is?" I answered with a little hesitation, a complex matrix of proteins. He looked at me, smiled, and immediately said, "Yes." It was that moment that I knew I'm home. For me, Redefine Meat is home, and it is so from the very first moment in the company. This is where I express myself and promote my personal agenda and touch as many people as possible with delicious food. And that's exactly why I'm here today. They say that curiosity killed the cat. Well, in my version of the story, my endless curiosity for food and science actually keeps animals alive. Today, you'll be tasting our iPhone 3. Our first line of products, a revolutionary product, a game changer if you wish, but this is just the beginning. The first dish we're going to serve you is kebab in a pita bread with apricot ketchup and a little bit of tahini and a mini salad. Why kebab? Well, the team asked me, what can we do to differentiate ourselves from the competition? So I said to myself, everyone is doing a burger, but we're in the Middle East. So if everyone is doing a burger, we'll make kebab. When we started the company, walking into our office would surprise most people. It might have even sounded like the beginning of a joke. A mechanical engineer, applied physics PhD, tissue engineering PhD, a marketing expert, a food engineer, and a chef walk into a bar. But seriously speaking, all these people were sitting in one room discussing how to create a machine that will make the best plant-based steak in the world. What I take from those early days is that we, young chefs, tend to sometimes limit ourselves, to think that we cannot bring any real value to this technical field. We're not trained in those fields. Our degrees are not always academic ones. And one can easily think that we might not bring much to a mechanical engineering discussion. And that is simply wrong, completely wrong. We, chefs, have one thing that is almost unbeatable. We have what I call practical imagination. It gives us the ability to foresee issues before they occur. In our way of thinking, and yes, I am generalizing here, is allowing us to see the similarities in processes. All of us know that if you know how to make a hollandaise sauce, making béarnaise is not a big deal. And making a pasta in a machine, it's simply an extrusion process. This melting pot of ideas in our company, allowing each and every one of the team members to participate in the creation process, is to this day one of the pillars of Redefine's Meat DNA. And do you know the phrase, the one who dares wins? In Redefine Meat, daring, being courageous, is one of our core values from the very beginning. We have always dared and challenged ourselves to reach our limits and then break them. How courageous are we? Before we even had a product, we committed to a tasting event of 120 people for the non-existing product. And we purposely put ourselves in a no chance, no option, no choice situation. And that pushed us to make our first product, the mincemeat. The next milestone was the whole cuts. After a tasting session with one of our investors, we promised him that the next time he will come, he will taste our printed steak. He looked at us, smiled, and said, "Okay, you have 90 days." And at that point, we just started to play around with our printer. After 90 days, we had a very unsteaky steak, but we did it. We took every challenge that was thrown at us. We leveraged the stress and turned it into a catalyst. We became can-do people, saying yes to every opportunity to present our product and to let people taste and experience them. We need to fly overnight to France for a tasting session? Sure, why not? A tasting session in an office with no kitchen in the middle of Germany? Been there, done that. And we also had the courage to shift the whole essence of the company. I'll tell you a secret. In the beginning of our journey, our main goal was to develop new and innovative technologies and to sell them to food manufacturers, and not to be a food manufacturer ourselves. However, during one of our earliest developments, we acknowledged the fact that if we want to change the game, to create a new arena in the food industry, we need to do it ourselves. We've turned it into our agenda, and along with curiosity that I've mentioned before, courage is also in our company's DNA. The second dish we will serve you today is a new meat lamb flank with a little bit of a mustard leaf salad. Just like the famous story about the invention of the tarte tatin in the end of the 19th century, our lamb flank was born by chance in our lab. One of our lab workers received a sample box of beef flavor, and one of the samples simply reminded me the taste and smell of lamb. I took it to the kitchen and played with it a bit, and within a few hours, I succeeded to implement the flavors into our minced meat. And after 2 months, we already had a delicious product, new small piece of lamb flank. This product was actually born because I personally just really like the flavor of lamb. We are very passionate about what we do. In the first 2 years, I led the company's culinary R&D, the company's culinary vision, and I've built a team of chefs that now work independently. Our initial motive was to invent a product that satisfies meat eaters, and not necessarily vegetarians and vegans. To convince carnivores that this is the real deal, we had to treat the development process quite differently. The eating experience was the focal point, much more than issues such as complexity or prices. The product had to be tasty and meaty. And our motto in Redefine Meat is that, and mine as well, all food must be delicious. It's a little funny to say it here, but all food must be delicious. Anything that comes out of our kitchen must taste good to be delicious and premium. Because the first impressions are the most lasting experience. It's the initial effect. The challenge of creating a new ingredient, flavorful but not overpowering, same properties as meat, from appearance to cooking behavior, combining taste, texture, color, sound, was tremendous. And we've taught ourselves anything we could about traditional meat. We are collaborating with companies such as Givaudan Flavor Company to develop flavor implementation techniques with various technological solutions. We learned everything we could about the meat eating experience, from meat scientists to top butchers and chefs together with our team that grew from one team member to now a whole department of food R&D with 50 employees with various degrees in advanced science, food science. We had a team of scientists taking premium cuts to a particle accelerator in Canada, the CLS, to analyze and map the structure of whole cuts in the highest resolution known to man, so we can mimic it and implement it in our products. We invest as many resources needed to map, analyze, and understand what we need to do to create the perfect meat eating experience. And we are developing new patented technologies as well as new products day in and day out. And I'm happy to say that our approach is already gaining momentum, as we are active in 5 countries: Israel, UK, Germany, Netherlands, and Finland. Collaborating with top chefs in those markets, we see the change every day, everywhere. We have a client in Berlin that asked us, what do we think if he will replace all of his beef burgers with our new meat burgers? Of course, the answer was yes. But what's really interesting there is that the most tastiest, coolest dish that he serves is a Redefine meat burger with traditional bacon and traditional egg. And that's exactly the trick. To use our product as the raw material, as new meat. Redefine meat have changed the game. Until today, we had only traditional meat. Starting today, there's also new meat based on plants, or in our words, it's a whole different animal. Out of the company's 250 employees, there are approximately 15 vegetarians and 7 vegans. And I'm happy that many vegans and vegetarians are embracing our products, and and we welcome that. And I am happy that along the way we're doing some good for the environment. But what drives me personally, my drive, is to make a delicious product, not a substitute or an alternative to meat. The search for substitutes or alternatives usually forces us to compromise on the taste. That is why we focus on the experience, breaking down the experience of eating traditional meat to explore what people like in the taste, the texture, the smell, the touch of meat. And we develop new and unique products that deliver the similar experience to its tiniest details. Not a meat substitute, not an alternative to meat, but new meat. Precisely the same, entirely different. In addition to the experiments, the lab work, and the resource recruiting, from personnel to funds, we're actually looking to break down the patterns and do reverse engineering for what our brain does when it tastes something and it translates it into beef or lamb. We break the experience back down and look at the range and research it, so we can take that info and mimic it and implement it in our products. The texture, the smell, the feel, the bite. We made sure that even the sizzling sound of traditional meat when fried or cooked is implemented in the product. And by that, we covered all the senses involved in the traditional meat-eating experience. We have developed a new, innovative, unique, patented technology, the Angus, the world's largest advanced food-grade 3D printer. Blood, muscle, and fat are composed together to create not only the taste and smell of meat, but also the appearance and touch, using only 5% of the resources that cows would. We see you as partners to this journey. In the last year, we met with numerous number of chefs and collaborating with them in order to receive feedback and create together the best, most premium plant-based meat, which we present here today. And our ambition is that you, as people who are always in pursuit of new and exciting ingredients, will take our new meat and do with it what you know how to do best. Turn it into your own delicious art. You are Picasso, the plate is the canvas, and we're simply the raw material, the new paint. So in conclusion, what do you actually get out of it? What can you, chefs, as artists who create food, get from Redefine meat? Well, Shai always said that one of the reasons he brought me to the company is, and pardon my English, you can't bullshit a chef. And as a chef who has managed a few businesses in my path, let's put it on the table. After 2 difficult years of global pandemic, in a market where profitability is not particularly high anyway, we are all looking, including myself, for new ways to increase the clientele, increase income, and attract new audiences. We created for you a whole range of new colors in beef and lamb flavors, soon also pork, from minced to whole cuts. And nothing excites me more than visiting a partner and tasting something new and creative from our product that tells a new, unique story. I wish that one day I will have the honor to visit one of your restaurants and taste one of your creations with our paint. And the meat industry is destroying the planet in so many ways. And we are here today because we're on the journey to change the world. We aim to make it a better place for us and for future generations to come. And this is not about innovation for the sake of innovation. It's not about the next cool trend. New meat is not a trend or a nice to have. It's a necessity. And in order to solve our planet's food and technological challenges, the current ones and in the future, we want to work hand in hand with you, the culinary leaders of this world, to continuously improve. So my message to all of you is quite simple. Zusammen, zusammen, zusammen. Together, we can develop new solutions, products, technologies, collaborations, and worldwide partnerships. Only together, as one global community, we can bring a positive change to this world. We are opening the door to endless possibilities, and we invite you to step in and join our journey to redefining meat. I want to thank to the people who made this happen. Chef Kevin Graham from Germany, Chef Linda Steen in the back kitchen from the Netherlands, Eschar Ben Shitrit and Adam Lav that gave me the freedom and believed in me for all these years. And a special thank you to Ayelet Sarusi, our strategy and growth manager, for all the support and help. You've made my dream come true, and I couldn't have done it without you. I was Shai Hayman from Redefine Meat. Thank you very much.
Shai, what should I say? I tried your product. Luckily, I can say it's really good. And there are not really so many subsidiaries on this world because I'm a predator. I love to eat meat, but it's everybody's choice. I have to say, it is really a good product. So, chapeau. As we still have a couple of minutes left, I would ask you 1 or 2 questions, if you don't mind.
I don't.
So, maybe I didn't listen properly. Can be also my mistake. But how does a chef turn from a kitchen into something like that?
I've worked in a few Michelin star restaurants in the States, and in every tasting menu, you always have the vegan option, the vegan route, because we can't let our clients leave unsatisfied. And when you see that you can make ice cream vegan and delicious, and when you see how you take strawberries, for example, and turn them into something completely different, looking like tomatoes, with a few scientists turning soybeans, wheat, peas into a meat, it's not a big deal. And when you understand that, for me it was quite simple. It's veganism, not as an ideology, it's my personal opinion on it, not as an ideology, but as something practical that comes from the reality. We need to find new solutions to inhabit our nice planet, like Alex said yesterday. There is no plan B. We don't have it. So for me, it was literally a practical route to bring something new and nice to this world.
Very interesting, and I couldn't agree more. There is no planet B. So we don't have other solution. Leaving Earth behind us and starting somewhere else new, it doesn't work, not yet. So another question. Do you eat meat?
Of course. Of course. What we take quite a bit of pride in the company is that Redefine Meat is not, we don't hold a vegan agenda. And we are definitely not going to be in a place to tell people what to eat. We acknowledge something quite simple. We love meat. We really, really love meat. But if we keep on consuming the amount of beef consumed globally, at some point, no one will have beef. So if we want to still enjoy from high quality produce, we need to do some changes in the supply chain and where we get our meat from. And that's why we do what we do.
Very interesting, because I personally also believe diversity can be the solution for many, many things. And forcing people to something they actually don't want to do creates force
It
against.
never works.
You know, we had yesterday also a conversation during, the night or the dinner, and I couldn't agree more. You know, every single step is important. You know, sometimes we don't have the feeling we are able to change something, but we are able. And, you know, the first man on moon said it, I think, very, very well. It's possibly just a small step for me, but a huge step for a human being. So I would love to close with these words. Your presentation, your speech, thank you very much for everything you did as well, because I continuously mentioning it. The people behind the stage, the people behind names, behind companies are so important, and experts are crucially needed on this planet. So, Shai,
Thank you very much.
thank you very much, and I hope we see each other later for a drink.
Of course.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.